different perspective of things to the company. So in my own view, men don't just come there to just stuff it out, and we can help to shape our experience better. And I know in my own career, I feel happy today, and perhaps I can perform better when I stop asking myself, what can I do to fit in? And I start asking myself, well, how can I be myself in this environment? And that's what really helped me to develop myself. And so it takes time, yes, but it will work. And that's the foundation of a strong career. Another virtue that I also help being patient in the office. When you're patient, you have to take time to also learn the system. And when you learn the system, you understand how other people are doing, and it will give you that confidence. So and today, if you learn, if you get that reputation and gain maturity in your career, it will give you, you'll be defining the norms in the organization. And I can tell you that today I control a lot of things in the office just because of I took that time. I built confidence in myself, and I gave myself time and allow the system to move through me, and I move through the system. Another thing the third thing I know I did, which is what is helping me today, is showing up and standing out. You know, showing up. You know, most times people look at showing up and showing up. You're trying to show. No, showing up in what you are doing and doing it well. Hello, hello.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go on.
Okay. So for me, being a woman can has helped me tremendously, and I take myself being at an advantage because I work my way up to the ladder at my company Flonex, and I transited to the executive management as the only female director in the office, and I'm always the only female in the board meeting, and I don't feel anyhow when I'm there. I feel equal with others because I have this I get respect from both my peers and the superior. Hello, hello.
We can hear you.
Okay. So I'm also encouraging most of us, because one of the things that we have is building faith. If you have faith in your instincts, you can go far. And I know a lot of us are challenged by the attitude of men. Yes. Hello. 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 Are you there? Hello. My advice to young women is to be bold and not to let anyone intimidate you. Be okay with be okay with not knowing, and okay with having to ask for help, spending a lot of time with personal time and learning, defining your skills. Always be ready to volunteer in a project. Even though you might not have the knowledge, it's an opportunity for you to learn and design your skills. I also want to advise young women to be prepared for an
Yeah.
exciting job. Okay, yeah. So let us be risk taker as women, not just say it's only for men. Be a risk taker, because I know that's what has helped me throughout. And don't embark on any technology that you're not sure of. Make sure you go in, learn from others, and get information from others, and try to learn from anybody, because there are some men that are already always ready and willing to support women, even though yes, some of them want to put you at the background, but don't allow that to happen. I know, because a lot of people will say they lack support. Most of them, lack of people don't support them in the organization. But I'm lucky that I work in an organization. Yes, I experienced it in the initial stage, But at this stage, people are always there to support me, and a lot of people are now working under me, which I mentor. And that's one of the things we should do as women. We should try to mentor our people, mentor our fellow women, so that when they develop, women will have a lot of women in our career, because people are afraid of going into engineering. And today, I know that that idea is changing gradually, but I believe that with our support, with women supporting women, things will go on well. Women can overcome this gender-based challenge the right way by focusing on their skills and staying current with the industrial skills. Cultural norms need to be changed in employment. I know some people, they have issues with their families. I know, yes, a lot of women, you see them having issues with their families. They may not allow you to, when you graduate as an engineer, you are married, and your husband will tell you, my friend, sit down, go and find a business. I have a lot of friends that are like that today are not, they are not even satisfied because they're not happy. So I also encourage men. I know a lot of men are here listening to me. Encourage you to support us and talk to your men, so that most of them, that they are women, their wives are our men help us to improve and help our women. And I know in IEEE, at least I know our men in IEEE have been doing well. So we encourage, we thank you for that, and we hope that you keep on helping us develop. So for us women, we have to work hard. So we'll keep the women we have. That entails mentoring is the key. And women, we need to support ourselves as women, and the company should recognize the actual benefit. Because if you train a woman, you are training the whole world. When you have a lot of women engineers in the house, they will even be teaching their children. Before you know it, the world will be a better place. And that's what I believe. And I know that when we do that, it will be of great help for us in STEM. STEM has gone a long way to bridge the gap of gender gap, but with the little work, we can see an increasing number of women joining the rank of STEM field. I know that as we walk into the way of the new world, I will face struggle and challenges that I may not face in the other field. But to me, following a lifelong dream, make any issue just a stepping stone that will make me stronger a person. So I'm advising all of us, take the challenge today. Be a woman. I'm happy that I'm a woman, and I have faith that most of us, we are going to do better. And if a lot of women are in STEM, we are going to turn the world a better place. Thank you very much. And I hope a lot of people heard what I said. And I can stop for now, so that I let me not encroach in other people's time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We were richly blessed by all you had to say. And just like you said, we all know, like I said before you started speaking, we know that women are actually a little bit of disadvantage at a lot of places where they work because of their gender. And thank you for sharing experiences and how to help combat them, and so that the younger ones can learn from it. And like you said, women, we play a major role in picking out all of these challenges that you women face. We continue to do our best. So, and we also encourage you all to also always speak out whenever you feel you have a problem, so that it's possible that some of us might not know, or we're not aware of what's going on. So once you speak out, then we might tend to make corrections, take corrections, and also help out. And then also talk to other colleagues if they are not actually listening. Thank you very much. On to the next speaker. We actually have the PES chair has joined us, and we also have the IEEE Nigeria Section Secretary, Engineer Abdulatif Aliu and the PES chair, Engineer Isaac. Both of them are here, but we'll allow them speak. But after the presentation, they will be able to give us their own insight on the topic and on IEEE as a whole, and also tell us what they have been doing and what they can help also do to help women overcome these challenges. Thank you very much. Engineer Patience Enahoro, over to you, please. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
You're welcome.
Evening, to talk about the challenges that we face. As the first speaker had already covered most of the things that I would also cover, but I guess there will be lots of understand the key issues that cut across everyone that works in STEM. So I'll quickly highlight what I call women like myself face in STEM, and then a few tips to help us in dealing with them. On the side of the challenges, I would just broadly classify them as two. The first one will be the plain old gender discrimination. People just look at you as a woman and they think you are inferior to a man in your capabilities at the workplace. Like Engineer Chidima mentioned before, this is a cultural issue and it cuts across Africa or Nigeria. It's just that it is at different degrees around the world, and it's real. It's still here. Improvements, you know, over the years. We can celebrate things in 2020, like having like around the world as females. So we have 19 prime ministers, 19 presidents around the world in 2020. Women, and we can celebrate things like that because it shows we have come a long way from what the world used to be back in the 50s. The same university in most part of the world. Even as we celebrate those things.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Please go on.
Okay, so even as we celebrate, is not over. It's still with us at the workplace every day, and it's not overt. I'm not going to hire you because you're a woman. It's more subtle. And in fact, the worst form of it is the subconscious biases that people don't know what they're doing. Just prefer a man to take the leadership position over you with no real reason that they can explain. We have to deal with, because the statistics show us that only about 6% of women in S&P 500 companies, for example, are CEOs. All the other percentage are taken by men. We still have between 10 and 17% women on board of companies. Globally, global averages across countries differ in a wide variation. But what this shows us is that there's still gender discrimination. 50% of the workforce are women, but career progression and growth into leadership is not the same for men and women. So that's the major challenge I see. A woman working in the statistics are even worse. Our percentages are constantly lower than the average across industries. Problem number one, if you go into a career in STEM, get ready. That's why I tell the young people, get ready. You're going to feel it in one way. Engineer working in the going to offshore platforms, I saw it firsthand. There were times I arrived at the location and people said, "What? They sent us a woman. We have a big problem here. Why did they send us a woman?" And it crushed me because I felt, why would you see my gender first? You're not talking about my qualifications. You're not talking about my competence. Woman. So that's a major problem we still contend with. The challenge number two is what I would put loosely as the minority dynamics. In one of the researches I looked at recently about women in STEM says Only about 1 out of 10 people are going into a STEM career, and for the total workforce, only about 25% of STEM professionals are women. So that's career, you're already a minority. So you're not going to go into the workplace and find 50% women doing what you're doing. So there's always that challenge of how do you deal with the minority dynamics, meaning it's not going to be as easy for you to build social connections as it will be for the men. The example is you're not likely to end up in the football teams when they're playing football on Saturday. You're not likely to be there when they're going out to the pub to hang out after work. And if you're trying to build those extra hard activities, they won't come easily to be in that minority group of small section of women that are in that career. So those are like the two major challenges that I see. And very quickly, I will move on to what I consider some tips that can be helpful in overcoming these challenges. Before I sound music, I want to say that these challenges have been around for a long time, and they're not just going to go away because you are applying a few tips. And that's why we have organizations like IEEE Women in Engineering, working collaboratively with men, recruiting men as sponsors to help us talk about these issues so that we can have as many aligned with us on getting gender equity. So the tips that we are sharing is for what we can do on the individual level. What can you do to help yourself as a woman in STEM? And we hope that collectively, all the initiatives that come globally at organizational level to improve inclusion and diversity will continue to help things for all of us. But on the individual level, I have 5, and I'll just do them quickly before I sort of dwell on a few that I think are more important. The first one is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Steve Jobs that said that, only people who are crazy enough to believe they can change the world actually do. So if you go into STEM already intimidated, feeling like, oh, all these men are going to shove me aside, you most likely will be shoved aside. You have to go confident, believe in yourself, do the things that you know will help you build your self-confidence. Look for things to inspire yourself. For me, as a spiritual person, that includes feeding my mind positive words, positive songs, inspirational messages. For me, it includes going to seminars, going to conferences, being around. Person can achieve this, I can achieve it as well, especially being around women who have achieved the things I want to achieve. So for everyone, it could be different. It could be reading a book, or fill your mind with things that inspire you, that make you believe that, yes, I can do this. And it's very important for you to deal with external discrimination, have a lot of self-esteem in going to work on your career. The second thing I would say is develop yourself. So, many of us stop. It's not enough. You have to keep adding on to it. And it's not necessarily another degree or another certification. It could just mean learning from that seem to know a little more than you. Learn from them. It could mean reaching out to a mentor. It could mean just spending a couple of hours every week to read up on articles, read books that relate to new developments in your field, that relate to new technologies, new practices. Just keep abreast of development in your field. Constantly seek to learn. That way you will always be relevant. It's very hard for people to shove you aside as a nobody in your profession, in your workplace. You're knowledgeable. So the third thing I would say is always seek to add value. What I mean by that, be the problem solver. Be the one expected for the projects that you're working on. Work hard. I tell what young ladies I mentor that, sorry, it's unfair for you guys if you're going to be engineering. It's just what it is, because you will not be forgiven. If as a new hire you come in and the easiest you're given is, oh, it's because she's a woman. She's not suited for this career anyway. So you need to work twice as hard as a guy so that show that you can learn, you can deliver, and it is the results that you deliver that begin to speak for you. So you need to be that person that solves the problem, that delivers the expected results, and that's the way to begin to put down any form of discrimination that could have come up. I remember very early in my career when I had the opportunity. Why is she the one sent in to solve our problems? The only way I got past that was by constantly delivering on the project, to the extent that when I now show up on an offshore platform, for example, to work on a project, people are excited. They're like, oh, it takes time to build a reputation. And how you build a reputation for yourself is by delivering value, time, and again. So that's like the 3 key points I have for dealing with gender discrimination. But on the other part of dealing with the minority dynamics, I have 2 key points, and they're your network and maintain visibility. It's not easy. You're not just going to end up being with the guys. You have to make efforts to build relationships, both within and outside your organization. A woman I read about once said, when she realized that a lot of decisions concerning her projects were being made in unofficial meetings, when the guys with them, she would come with cupcakes and share with them and join in their conversation. Everyone has to find a way to build the network, get into building relationships that will help to further your career within your organization, get into professional associations and professionals within your field that are outside of your organization, such as people who will make for good mentors, good sponsors, both male and female. I was mentored earlier in my career, mostly by men. Search for people who will add value to you, people who can speak for you, mention your name, who will see your contributions. Build a very strong network. It is not enough as a woman to do your work quietly and go home. No, you have to build your network. You have to maintain. When you finish a project, make sure that the reports you're sending, the emails, the communications, the presentations are being seen. Relevant people, make sure that people can see the work you're doing. Make sure you're getting credit for the work you're doing, which means you have to be confident, you have to be able to promote work, you have to be able to defend your work as much as is possible. So it's very important you build your network, and those are my 5 points for what you can do individually to remove the negative impact of discrimination in the workplace, which is basically that be shifted aside and you can fail to progress in your career. Thank you. So I think, yeah, that would be it for now from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mom. We thank you for all your contributions. But just like you said, yes, things have moved on, just like technology, right from time. Like you said, back in the days, women could not work in the same place with men, but due to changes, women that has changed, and I believe IEEE is in the forefront of at the forefront advocating for women for gender equality at workplace, because I know IEEE actually has women in engineering and other women-related projects put ahead of other ones, just to help boost, encourage women to get involved as much as the men. So we at IEEE, we actually take this very seriously. And I thank God that you actually highlighted that, yes, there's still much work to be done, but as we go on, we will try and do our best. The key point for women, build yourself with positive things, stay relevant, improve on your academics. As in, by improvement, you can, it doesn't have to be a degree. You can just learn from, like I said, learn from your peers, read books, learn from the internet. There's everything on the internet nowadays. So stay relevant. With all these things, it will be hard to be neglected. You have no sideline. So thank you very much for your contribution, and it's very, very helpful, not only to women, even to us men and even the young engineers coming up. All those things you highlighted are actually very, very important in all of us. So we'll move on to the next speaker, speaker number 3. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Chinelo.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm sorry for I'm having speaker issues. I don't know, my microphone is having issues, but thank God you can hear me now. So let's just move on as we've already on the section. Thank you, Engineer Haruna. We have our third speaker, Dr. Nkiruka N. Onye. Before I continue, my name is Chinelo Kafo. I'm supposed to be the moderator for today, but Engineer Haruna have been helpful since my speaker have been having problem. So now that I'm able to sort it out, everyone, you are highly, highly welcome to this valuable discussion we are having today. Our speaker number 3 is Dr. Nkiruka N. Onye. Dr. Nkiruka N. Onye is an Earth observation specialist in detecting, measuring, and monitoring environmental disturbance using remote sensing and geographical information system technology. She's a member of the IEEE Geoscience and Remote Sensing Society and Women in Engineering, the Remote Sensing and Photogrammetry Society, Fellow of Royal Geographical Society, Geoscience Society of Nigeria, an Associate Fellow in Higher Education Academy, UK. She co-founded Lenke SWS, an innovative company, and Dr. Onye works as a postdoctoral researcher with University of Leicester, where she consults on a range of environmental projects for local and international businesses. Dr. Onye is the winner of the 2019 ESA Copernicus Hackathon and is passionate about inspiring, developing, empowering, and advancing African women and young professionals in STEM. So I have with me here Dr. Nkiruka Onye as our next speaker. Over to you, Ma.
Firstly, I really want to say thank you to the IEEE Nigeria and, the Women in Engineering Society, the Power and Energy Society, and of course the ambassadors for putting together this event, and also for giving me the opportunity to share my bit of my experience in this field. So like the previous speakers have pointed out, every woman, and in my own case now, Black woman, as I know it is with several other women, every Black woman that ventures into a STEM career faces challenges related to their gender and to their race. That's a fact. Everybody knows that. I personally had an additional challenge of being a single mother with 4 kids and being older than the average practitioner here in the field, here in the UK where I live. So it definitely was not an ideal start for me in this career. In fact, even getting into the career from the beginning was more or less accidental. I got into this career because I wanted to do a research in environmental disturbances, and found out that I couldn't actually pursue the degree in the university of my choice without incorporating remote sensing and GIS technology. So with no experience whatsoever in remote sensing and GIS, I incorporated that into my research proposal and managed to secure the admission to pursue the research. So at that point, I'm sure you can guess, the confidence was zero. And, there were lots of doubts, self-doubt and everything. But at the end of the day, it boiled down to me thinking, like, what's the worst that will happen? At the end of the day, whether I pursue this career or not, time will still pass. So, I embarked on this journey, but luckily, which kind of emphasizes the need for women to mentor women in this profession. I had the fortune of meeting some women, who had similar startup, stories about how they got into the career and still made successes out of it. And this kind of inspired me to, to carry on. but it was difficult, to be honest. When you relocate to the UK here as a Black woman, and as also other Western countries, I'm sure some of you can relate to that, you are expected to, either go into nurse, forget about whatever you were doing back home in Nigeria, and go into either nursing or social care or whatever, But for me, really, at a personal level, I couldn't stand to the sight of blood. So I thought that, I'm not going to fit into that narrative. I will pursue the career I was doing back home in Nigeria, regardless. But still, even taking that decision was difficult because I had a lot of doubts. My goodness, people would tell you, look, this career is what Oyibo people like doing. You're going to struggle to get a job at the end of the day. You're not going to be successful in it. Just go and do nothing. Go and do, go back to school. Go and read some social work degree or whatever. But I felt like I was too old to, start my life all over again. I'd rather just continue on the path I had chosen. Still, those doubts persisted. But what helped me seriously, I actually struggled with anxiety. But what helped me seriously was I decided to take each day as it comes, And this brings me to my first tip. Sometimes, we encounter decisions, we encounter situations where we seriously doubt ourselves. We have absolutely no confidence. We have a crisis situation where we can't make a headway. There doesn't seem to be any path that is clear for you to follow, and you begin to wonder what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen after 2 years, where do I want to be in 5 years? Can I even get there? My suggestion would be have your big your big plan, but manage the problems as they occur. Take each day as a time, because if you speculate too far into the future, you definitely get overwhelmed and you might not even initiate that journey.
Can you all mute our mics, please?
Yes. So as I progressed into my research, I encountered the discriminations I expected. For instance, at several meetings or conferences, I turned out to be like either the only Black person in that group or the only Black woman in that group. A particular one stood out, and I think it was actually my daughter that reminded me, because I shared that experience with them as soon as I came home. I was in this meeting, and it was a workshop on a project the university wanted to embark on. And from the beginning, the moderator, through his body language, showed clearly that he thought I had nothing to offer, that I was out of place in that setup. I mean, what's this Black woman doing in here? She should go and, go into care or go into nursing or whatever. He clearly made it known that my voice, he wasn't interested in whatever I had to offer. Each time I made any gesture to speak or comment on a topic, he would just dismiss it without even giving me the opportunity to say what I had to say. So, of course, this kind of behavior made me feel very bad and kind of accentuated the fears and self-doubt I had. And sometimes I know there are people that can relate to this experience. You find yourself in a situation where you're not even allowed to have an opinion, let alone offer it, not to talk of it being wrong or right. And this brings me to my second tip, use your voice. Regardless, don't even bother about whether you're wrong or right. Don't worry about, how are they going to respond to my opinion? Oh my God, am I going to make sense? Will they laugh at me? Be open to criticisms. But you know what? You have to say something when you find yourself, especially if you know that people are trying, to undermine you, to make you invisible. You just have to keep push. And I'm happy that the previous two speakers actually emphasized a lot about this. You have to use your voice to create your space, especially in this profession that is male dominated. In that situation, what I did was I kept offering the, in quote, unwanted opinion. On every topic that was tabled, I kept talking. I kept saying, excuse me, I have something to say. Excuse me, I have something to say. Until the moderator eventually allowed me to, offer my opinion. And really, if you think about it, this is what men do a lot of the time. Sometimes they offer opinions, not because they think the opinions are right or it's the best. They just do it, in my opinion, to get their voices in our heads. So I think women should begin to take advantage of that, game plan as well. don't feel shy. Don't allow anybody to, make you invisible. Just keep talking, and soon enough you will be heard, and you will create your space and make sure to defend that space. As having completed my research, as expected, I struggled to get a regular 9-to-5 job. I actually wanted to stay in the university to lecture and things like that. I went for interviews. I had the qualifications, but being an older Black woman put me at disadvantage. And that journey, I got an important tip I want to share for people who probably would in the future, or who are already studying here abroad, or in the future want to come here to relocate or do something. Once you go for an interview and the interviewer says to you, "Oh, we know our diversity record isn't great, but we are working on it," just forget it, because they're not getting that job. They all pay lip service to diversity and inclusion, but when it comes to action, it's far from the truth. And this might be the situation here in the UK, but I'm sure it's probably different for other places, depending on what the societal problems are where you live. So people would be in a hurry to pay lip service to your dreams, to your vision, but when it comes to putting in that effort to support you to grow, it becomes a different kettle of fish. So my honest advice here is, regardless, do not dwell too much in that unfavorable situation. Just keep moving. It's not easy. I've had to contend with so many negativity, so much negative, even from people that look like me, just because I dared to be different. But if you know what your goals are, you know what your visions are, just keep working at it. Regardless, it might look like you're not achieving anything or making any progress. Keep working at it, because it will all link later in the future. They will all connect together. At the moment, I'm dealing with sexism, racism, ageism.
Oh, please mute our mics, please. Thank you. Can we all mute our mics?
At the moment, I'm dealing with sexism, racism, ageism, and other.
Can you mute everybody except the speaker, please? Thank you.
I have muted everyone. Hello, I've muted.
Mute everybody. Hear you now.
Okay, so at the moment, I'm dealing with a lot of isms, sexism, racism, and ageism, but I'm still a work in progress. I don't let all that faze me. I'm still looking for opportunities, though my current situation may not be the ideal situation to some people, but it's giving me the opportunity to continue in my profession, to, develop myself better, which I don't have to go into details on how you do that, because Patricia has really, Patience has done justice to that topic. You have to look for opportunities to make yourself better than you were yesterday. And, I have opportunities to explore different routes. Right now, I consult for the University of Leicester. Now, that is a big achievement if you bear in mind that at the time I was doing my doctorate degree, I couldn't get enough teaching jobs to make up my hours, while my younger and fairer colleagues had more than required. So that's what we're talking about, that kind of institutional discrimination, but you can't let it get you down. You just have to get up and keep moving. At the moment, I feel so fulfilled in my field. I review papers for top remote sensing journals. I volunteer on professional bodies, and I use my experience and my voice to project African women in STEM on international platforms. I've traveled the world. I've met wonderful people who've enriched my life, and I'm also working on my project, which is a business that aims to empower African farmers using remote sensing data. Indeed, I am fulfilled. And I think that is the aim of every human being, really, to get to that point in that pyramid where you are fulfilled. I've had this opportunity, and I know that if I had gotten into committed to a 9-to-5 job, probably wouldn't. Finally, I'd like to close with this general advice to the younger, the upcoming professionals. Be focused, but do not be afraid to explore. Wherever you are in your career journey, open your mind to other possibilities. Like the young generation would say, stay woke. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nkiruka. Thank you, Dr. Nkiruka. That was a great one. You said, if I can recap,
Right.
Nkiruka, from what she said that there's discrimination of being a Black woman out there, and you have to use your voice to create your face. Even if you just have to say something when you are in the midst of people that matters, you really need to talk it, no matter how you are looked at. You don't want to dwell in the unfavorable situation. You want to speak out. You want to use your voice to create your space. Thank you, Dr. Nkiruka. And the next speaker in our list, before we introduce the next speaker, I would like to call on our daddy, Engineer Isaac, the PES chair. I don't know if he's available to talk to us now. Earlier, he's not yet present, but now, Engineer Isaac.
Good
Hello.
evening.
Okay, sir. Please, do you have anything to tell us? Hello. Hello, Engineer Isaac.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Okay, good evening. You're welcome.
Well done.
Yes,
Everyone.
sir.
My dear colleagues, good evening all.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. We can hear you, sir. Good evening, sir.
I want to appreciate the effort of the organizers of this program. Yeah. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
I want to first appreciate the organizers. I want to appreciate the WIE package. And as well, I want to appreciate all the speakers that have spoken so far from you all. And it's a good thing that this kind of a program is highly beneficial and is going to be beneficial to even the younger ones, the younger females that are coming to the good thing is that we have experiences of people that have passed through the ropes, and I'm really with what I've had this evening. Though from my side, I believe it is we really need more females in so that things can be getting better and better for every one of us. I've had some experience while I was in the service of some challenges being faced by female engineers. But just as all spoken, I don't want to go back into all the problems that they face. The way forward. One, if you're that is hostile, it is challenging. But as an individual, you should first see yourself an individual, as a qualified person. Don't see yourself as male or be able to assert yourself wherever you find yourself. Let people see you as an individual, not somebody from a particular gender. When I trip Nigeria, I remember this was a challenge. And for us to, we had to encourage so many people, including males. For one of the people that started the WIE in Nigerian section. And luckily, we have that came out females that are able to take up the charge. And we are hosting a program by WIE of PES. Along the line, I want female. Like I said earlier, you have to be yourself. You have to assert yourself. Good thing is that all the females that have been given positions of responsibility, whether in engineering or any other part of leadership, have proven their mettle. So I want to congratulate everyone. That wherever you find yourself, I had Engineer Enauru was talking about our experience in the oil and gas. That is very correct. Initially, when you get there, there will be some. After a accepted and received, if you have already. I had such experience in my place of work too. We have some female engineers, and initially they used to feel at the field. But when you encourage them to go to the field, now they want to go to the field all the time because when you go, there will be changes. So you need to really prove yourself, prove your worth, let people know you, see what you can deliver, not as a professional. The other thing is that as female engineers, we need to be ambitious. There are some when defeated immediately. Where anything that is happening, I'm a female. There's nobody will accept me. I will not know. You should not defeat yourself. You need to be positive. Given to you, must be able to deliver and deliver extremely well. Like engineer now also. When you deliver something, don't wait for people to take the glory and the credit. Make sure that you are there to tell everybody that you're part of the team. In fact, if you are the leader of the team, let everybody know that you led. So that way will not push you to the side. You must have, many females don't have drive. I'm sorry to say that. To have drive, don't look at anything that is an advantage. See everything as being positive for you and getting the best out of life. At the end of the day, when you are in a position of, don't see yourself that, oh, all these men behind me, all these men, how will I control them? When they see your type leadership skill that you demonstrate, everybody will follow you. So I want to encourage you as being disadvantaged. Definitely we are disadvantaged, but that is something we can continue to talk about. What we need to do now is find a way to bring yourself out of it so that you'll be able to prove yourself and prove the words. Like I said, that have been given positions of responsibility have been proving themselves well. So let this thing be the same in engineering. Prove yourself, power, energy in every aspect of the profession. They will know that the truth, you are more than qualified to be. I personally will not look down on anyone. And I believe that that is the trend now. Nobody is looking down at anybody, but rather we are encouraging, especially the female. You need to come up. Need to see you more, you need to be more visible. Again, I congratulate you for this program and everyone the very best evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We are grateful. Thank you for your words of wisdom. We've all heard it loud and clear. We have to prove ourselves. Don't assume any agenda. Be ambitious. Have a drive. And thank you, Daddy.
Yes.
We've heard your advice. And please, before we go into our next speaker, the speaker number 4, please, we'll need to recognize the presence of our IEEE section chair. Our IEEE section chair, Engineer John Oyewole Funsho Adebayo. I don't know if he's around now so that he can tell us one or two things. Engineer Funsho. Okay, thank you.
I greet you all and I congratulate the WIE for partnering with the PES Society. And of course, when the others are spoken, you say a few words. Engineer Isaac has been there as a father, a great, as well as all the past chair. What we share is love. The world, and I this opportunity. Can just to say these few words. Thank you, everyone.
That was quite brief. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your presence. We really honor that. Thank you. The next speaker. The next speaker on our list is Engineer Felicia. Engineer Felicia Agubata. Dr. Felicia Agubata works for Nigeria Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, and as an Assistant General Manager. She's a council member of CORIN. She is the immediate past president of APWEN and a grant awardee, project director of She Engineer, Invent It, Build It, sponsored by the Royal Academy of Engineering UK under the GCRF, African Catalysts Phase 3 projects. We have great women here speaking. She is a STEM Dream Gap advocate and initiated the Invent It, Build It program during her tenure as the president of APWEN, where scholarships were awarded to 81 pupils in primary school in the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. And modern science laboratories were constructed in 7 states, with Bauchi and Edo State completed. That's a great feat. We welcome Engineer Felicia Agubata. Engineer Felicia.
Thank you, Chinelo. The IEEE Nigerian Section Chair, Engineer Funsho Adebayo. The PES Chair, Engineer Isaac Adekoye. The IEEE Ambassadors, the Women in Engineering IEEE, all speakers, all attendees, good evening. May I start by proclaiming that I am a woman, a proud woman. I am also a wife, a proud wife. You may also add that I'm a mother, a proud mother. And what's more, I am an engineer, a proud and competent engineer. Perhaps that is what qualifies me to be part of this discussion on STEM. Truly, I have looked at my professional qualifications and job experiences across my career. I have also looked at my learnings and qualifying examinations taken by me and other women. I have never seen a course content or performance criteria that was designed exclusively for women in STEM. My point is that there is no such thing as challenges of being a woman in STEM. What we may have as a topic is the challenges of STEM and tips to overcoming them. My stand is that we should not see a problem where there is none. By and large, there is no problem or challenge that is peculiar to any gender with regards to understanding, practicing, or teaching STEM. Intelligence are randomly distributed across all genders in STEM and also outside of STEM. Career progression, as well as benchmark for acceptable performance, is not gender-based. For women in STEM, there is truly no basis for discussing about challenges as being applicable to them and inapplicable to males. It is an individual capacity and ability issue and should not be lumped up as women issues. Challenges faced by individuals differ according to their attitude, skills, and competence level. Men and women in STEM profession face challenges, but the difference is in the individual ability, aptitude, attitude, learning exposures, and their motivations. We must change our narrative going forward. We must insist on keeping it simple and real and reflecting a collective reality instead of polarizing discussions and weakening the quality of our conversations. Our reality is that we are women and we are also in STEM field. We must build the right image and skill mix for ourselves in our different organizations and industries. Our profession, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, has nothing to do with gender. Threshold for acceptable performance and competence has nothing to do with gender. I can lay some few tips for succeeding in STEM careers. Recent estimates show that 80% of jobs that will be created over the next decade will require STEM skills. However, there's no single model on how to overcome numerous challenges and succeed in STEM, but you have some few tips. Number one, you need to be inspired. Identify role models in STEM that inspire you and try to find out how they achieve their success in their STEM career. For me, I have some role models I've identified in my career, and I look up to them. I look up to engineer Mrs. Joan Olum Madoka, who happens to be the first female registered engineer in Nigeria. I look up to engineer Kashim Abdul Ali. I look up to late engineer Ike Inua. I look up to engineer MB Shehu. I look up to engineer Patricia Openo Odele, who happens to be the first president of Women in It Network of ExxonMobil. I look up to engineer Noli Abedeye, who happens to be a past president of Upwell. These are my role models, irrespective of the agenda. There are things they've done in the profession that inspired me. You need to be curious. Number two, curiosity drives technological progress. It makes our minds observant with new ideas and keeps us on cutting edge. Number three, find a mentor. Seek out mentors whose background, interest appeals to you. I have several mentors that I look up to. I also have some mentees, people who also look up to me. For me, I don't see challenge. What I see in every season is opportunity for me to be what? For me to be a better man. Number three, adapt to changes and grow in it. Do not be afraid to fail, because failures are an essential part of learning process. We should learn from our failures. We learn every day. Do not be afraid to learn. Number five, adapt to changes and grow. If you fail, you do what? You grow from it. You learn from it. There must be lesson learned from every opportunity or from every challenge that you face, both male and female. There's no challenge that is peculiar to the male gender or to the female gender. It depends on our individual ability, aptitude, and attitude, learning experiences and motivations. We must learn continuously. Keep on learning new things all your life to succeed in the competitive job market and be ready to change career directions across roles, departments, industry. Consider online learning certifications. Be yourself at all times. You must be confident in your ability. Be positive. Do not be afraid. For me, the fear factor has gone long ago. I don't have anything called fear factor. I believe so much in myself. I'm positive all the time. I ask questions. I want to learn from people moving forward. I want to share from people's experiences. I want to learn what worked for them. I want to see because what worked for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B. That is continuous learning. We must also find a way to demystify STEM. Make it simple and straightforward. Motivation through role models. Finally, we need to be that agent of change that we desire to be. Encourage each other. Give a helping hand to the next person, whether the person is a male, a he, or a she. For us to have a successful career in STEM. Collaboration. You cannot do it alone. You need to collaborate with people. Nobody is an island. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thank you, Dr. Felicia. We are really grateful for those strong words. They were really encouraging, because I was just hearing women, women are disadvantaged. No, and I'm glad that you clearly pointed it out. We are not disadvantaged. Instead, we are even advantaged. To be an engineer, to be a woman, it's really, really a great advantage in the whole space. I really appreciate you, the way you talk firmly that all we need to do is not to see any challenge, but to see positivity in all we do. We should find a mentor. We should not be afraid to fail. We should learn. We should pick up online learning. We have Coursera, we have edX, free. Yeah, most of the programs are free. And we should try to get our mentor. We should make sure, and there's this saying that if you want to get a great mentor, if you want to get a great mentor, be a great mentor. So as we are looking for a mentor, we should try to look for someone to mentor to. That was a great one. We thank you, Dr. Felicia. We are grateful for you, those strong words. They are really helpful and encouraging. We move over to our next speaker. And she is the last speaker for today. Earlier, I would like to point out something here, that the women that have spoken so far, those women have nothing less than 15 years experience in the STEM space, in the technology space. So we are hearing from the leaders in STEM. We are hearing from the movers and shakers of the leaders in STEM. So we are really happy to have them here to talk about their experience and how they are able to overcome those challenges and how to be positive towards being in the STEM space. So we have Mistura Mubi Tijani. Mistura is representing the graduate engineers, or the fresh engineers that is in the STEM space, so that she can also share her experience as a fresh graduate. Let her share her experience on how she has been overcoming these challenges. Mistura is a research engineer at Digital Pulse Technologies, where she digs deep into the technologies to be developed for different organizations. She is a 2015 graduate of Electrical and Electronics Engineering from the University of Ibadan. She obtained her master's degree in computer science from the African University of Science and Technology in 2019. Mistura has been an active IEEE member since 2011. She served as the 2014-2015 University of Ibadan Student Board Women in Engineering Chair, and now the IEEE Young Professional Nigerian Vice Chair. Her interest is in deep learning for applications in medicine and digital identity. One of the buzzwords we hear in technology is deep learning, artificial intelligence, and we have a great woman in our midst that will tell us about her challenges and tips on how she's overcoming them. I present to you Mistura Mubi Tijani.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. So I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
Okay. So good afternoon to the panelists, the IEEE executives, from the chairman, the YP professional. I can't mention everybody. Good afternoon. And then to the attendants. Good afternoon. So basically, I just have 3 years career. So basically, I'll just be sharing tips that will be beneficial to the young professionals. 5 tips here. And then I think the first challenge that we do face as young professionals is lack of mentors. So, and then you agree with me that for professional development, and then for someone, you need somebody to advocate for you, and as well, you need somebody to learn from their mistakes. So the importance of a mentor is really very important. But the big challenge that we face as women and as young professionals is like we feel that there are few women in top leadership positions that we don't have enough people to look up to. Well, I faced that one. I used to believe that, but the tip that I have with me now is that don't take anyone as your mentor, irrespective of whether the person is a man or a woman. So far, the important thing that you want from them is to learn from them and gain insights from them. So go for anyone. So that's my number one tip. Then another tip that I would like to share is like seek opportunity with local events. I mean, for example, now if you're in the university and then you have events like IEEE Spark, you have all these cool events, attend, try and link up with the people that they invite, because most times these people are people from the industry. So maybe after the events, walk up to them. Oh, sir, that was a very good one. Can I have your email? I'd like to keep in touch. Because and this is actually very, very useful for me, because the man that I see as my role model today, I met him after IEEE Spark, and I had to do my IT in his company. And then recently, this COVID-19 era, I reached out to him again. And even though his company was something related to inverters and all, now we discussed things deep like AI, deep learning, and even though he is into power, he's also vast in all those areas too. Then another thing why I see an opportunity why you can get mentors is just check anybody that interests you online. I mean, the world is already diverse. It is now a global village. So you could virtually get their emails, send them their email, tell them, I like what you do. Promise them you'll not take too much of the time, and follow them on social media. Then another platform, especially as IEEE member to explore, is the IEEE Collaboratech. So it's more or less like a local LinkedIn for IEEE members. So I would like to employ us to take that as an advantage. And then another big thing that most people used to take lightly is the fact that your mentor doesn't have to be far, far, far above you. For example, now most of my mentors are my colleagues in class. I have a colleague that he finished from Stanford and now he's currently in MIT. I really admire him. So of course, I admire him, so I reach out to him and we talk and also, and I'm happy with it. Your mentor can actually also be someone that is younger. So far, they are doing what interests you and something you can benefit from. Then another most important thing that I think we do forget as young professionals is the fact that our former lecturers in our university, I don't know, most people are like, oh, the man, I failed this course, I don't want to talk to him again. The only time you see them calling their lecturer is when they need references to apply for grad school. But I mean, just like last 3 weeks, I still talked to my HOD, Professor Latuboso. So I called him, he was very happy. So the next time that I go around to Ibadan now, let me say I go visit him, of course, we'll talk about his research work. He's retired now. And then, I mean, where he stopped, what can the youth do? So that is very important. Reach out to your former lecturers. So another challenge that I think we face as young professionals is work-home balance. Especially as a young professional, you're just starting out, you just finished grad school and you just have 3 years of experience or something like that. So, and if you're a woman especially, this phase usually clashes within the age that you're around 28. So you probably think of settling down, getting married, have kids and all. And you're just starting out your career, then you want to become a mother. So all these things can be very, very confusing. And I would like to say here that, I mean, it's okay to say you want to stay at home, you don't want to come, you don't want to go to work. I mean, everybody knows what actually works best for them. And then everybody knows, shall I say, there are some factors that need you to be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, it's fine. But if you are somebody that really wants to move ahead in your career, so I would like to tell you that it's actually not the time to relax at all. Because some people, from the moment I'm pregnant now, that job promotion, I'm not applying, I won't have the strength at all. So I would say no to it, because compare yourself with your colleague, especially a male at that stage. By the time you say, oh, you're just pregnant, I don't want to retire for pregnancy, compare them in the next 2 years, you guys will not be at the same level. So the tips that I would like to share on this work-home balance is get info about pregnancy. I mean, know already that you have mood swings, you'll be tired, you'll be feeling lazy. So be prepared for it. I mean, it's happening, it's the normal thing. So it's not a big deal. So be prepared. Then another thing that I would like to say is that you should not leave your job too early. For example, now we all know that pregnancy journey is like 9 months. So you should not think that, oh, I'm already pregnant, I don't want to stress myself. At least still stay to like 7 months. So I'm only like 2 months and then 2 months after the pregnancy. So like we are just like 4 months off instead of taking like 1 year off that you come back to the workforce and you feel it's important to make sure that you really start out with something that is really interesting to you, something that you know that even if I give birth and I'm tired, I'm stressed, I still want to come back. So look for something that is really interesting that will actually want you to come back to the workforce, because it's not actually easy. I just gave birth to my baby 6 months. It's not really easy to go back to work. And then if you're a young professional, you know that, one of the tips that you actually did the baby at home, you actually need somebody that will take care of her. And then one painful moment is the fact that your baby will tend to be inclined to the caregiver, of course. And in fact, you should be happy because that means the baby is actually a mature baby. I mean, well developed for her to recognize a stranger from a stranger. I don't want to say you're a stranger. So don't be too jealous and just accept that naturally. Then another step that talks about life is our lack of confidence in our ability. Naturally, especially, okay, for example, now an office scenario, project managers, they actually want to get our confidence. Oh, Miss Tura, can you do that? So far I can. Let the word be I can. Are you sure you can? Of course, if I can't do it, I'll really talk. I'm confident I'll be. So let's put forward that confidence. Like, I remember that while we were in university, most times that we finish our exams, when I ask my female colleagues that, oh, hello, how was the exam? It's always like, okay, it was just there, it was fine, it's okay. But when you ask the guys on the other side, they're like, of course, that was fine. Huh? But when the results comes out, you see that the girls are, they're always flying, something like that. So on this lack of confidence, I would actually like to point out 2 things. And the first one is like, be confident. And then if you are kind of feeling no confidence, there are some secrets. Try and smile. Then when you dress well, so it actually works for me. When I'm a little bit afraid, okay, let me just dress well, at least feel good. I'll say smile, dress well, and then you can even pretend to be confident. Just be confident. And another thing is, the other thing that I have is like be aware of negative people. It's actually not easy. There are a lot of negative people outside there, and I'm very happy that Miss Patsy and Engineer Patsy and is on this platform, because I met her in 2017 and I followed her on Facebook. So I knew foundation. And then there was a particular day where she posted a picture of herself and some secondary school girls, foundation and all. And then my colleague was with me. I said, I like what she's actually doing. She's reaching out to young girls. And then the response I'll get from my friend was like, it's true, I think you just want to be popular. That I don't want to explain how that affected me, but that was what she said, and that was what she think. And another thing is, when I wanted to start my MSc, I had comments like, Mr. Anna, just think of getting married and pursuing MSc. And then when I got married, eventually somebody actually, like a brother, called me and said, I'm very happy that you got married, though. I thought that you'd be single forever. And all this your akada. So negative people are always there. So you just have to like have this, like maybe you have a basket, you have a filter. So when people advise you, look at the one that works for you. You don't take everything. People are very, very negative. Then another tip that I actually like to share is that we are, especially for this post-COVID-19 event, and one of the advantages is that it's already opening up the mind of employers to remote work. So as a young professional that you know that you're going to have to balance between home and work, so push for remote work with your employers. Tell them, oh yeah, I can do this. I will still be efficient if I work from home. So with this, especially when you stay in Lagos, you have enough time to avoid, to walk, and then you have enough time to avoid this crazy Lagos traffic. So that is that. So in summary, I'm just able to tell you 5 tips, and these are like on the work-home balance, lack of mentorships, and my tips. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Mistura. We really appreciate everything you have said about being a woman engineer. We have no matter how it's it, we have the woman side whereby talking about marriage, pregnancy, and the rest of them. Another thing that really interested me to talk about is one of the challenges young engineers have, which is lack of mentorship. And I'm happy to announce to us here that these great women that have spoken so far, from their profile, you've heard how they have had that they have initiative of bringing women in STEM, girls in STEM, and giving them scholarship, mentorship, and the rest of them. So that IEEE is a family whereby we are open for graduates to mentor graduates. These women here that have spoken today, they are open to mentor people, students. They are open to mentor their fellow women if we are ready to come up. So we have some other interesting things that I'll be talking about later. So let me don't just spill it out now. Now is the time for question and answer. Now is the time for question and answer. So please, if you have any question, please can you put it out in the box? If you have any question, please, can we have it coming in the chat box? As we see it, then we can reply. Any question from the audience? While we are waiting for question, we have our global leader, our PES Day global leader, Bisma Naushad. She would like to tell us one or two things. I don't know if she's around here. As we all know, this event, this webinar is hosted on behalf of PES Day. What is PES? Power Engineering Society. So we are celebrating our day, and one of the things we are doing is to provide webinars, tutorials to people around the world. So this man now, please, are you here? I think she's not here. Okay, she's here. She would like to tell us one or two things.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Isman Ashad. I'm from Pakistan. I'm from Karachi section. And first of all, thank you, Shanello, for inviting me to speak to the audience over here, which is pretty diverse.
Okay, they've included.
So the thing is that IEEE Power and Energy Society, it used to be Power Engineering Society since it was formed. But 10 years in around 2008, the society was changed to the name for Power and Engineering Society. So back in 2018, what happened was this, that Thiago from Brazil and all of the other, PES volunteers, they initiated this IEEE Power and Energy Society Day, in which we all celebrated the inception of IEEE Power and Energy Society, the name which was coined over there. So that's why we celebrate PES Day. And in 2018 and in 2019, we saw a wave of PES activities worldwide in almost, you can say, 160 countries worldwide. And it increased our impact a lot. And thanks to the ambassadors worldwide.
Sorry, Shanello.
What I was just saying was this, that since 2018 and 2019, we saw a lot of increase in the activities for PES worldwide. But this year we have opted for a webinar because of the COVID situation. Otherwise, until last year, we all had face-to-face activities. I would like to talk about women in power a bit. That why do we need women in power? As we all know that in power engineering sector, since really long time, we have seen that it has been male dominated field. And luckily, there is a shift, there is a wave of women empowerment worldwide, where women are finally stepping up to take the positions and lead along with men. So the main thing is, why do we need women in power? so that we see more women in the leading positions. We have always seen women, obviously, there have been women as like doing the junior roles, but you know that worldwide, all the women, if we see all the women in the leading position, they make almost how much? Maximum 3%, mostly in the biggest organizations. They just make 1% in the leading position. And that's really bad. And it is indeed, I won't say it is a gap, it is a terrible gap. So we need women in power so that women lead the positions, lead the organizations in future. Now, women empowerment, I was listening to the former speakers, and indeed they have pointed out all of the amazing facts that we need men and women both. Because until now, as we all know, that most of the leading positions have been acquired by men. There are not a lot of women leaders worldwide. So, how do we step up in the game? How do we become leaders of the future, being women? We learn from men. So, the main motive of women in power is this, that we empower women by not excluding men, by involving men with us, so that we learn from men and then we grow together. So, as we can see, a lot of feminist movements worldwide, they have a lot of wrong perspective, a wrong perception as well, that we do not need men or we can do whatever we want. And, like they say that we actually do not need men and we should avoid them. And this is wrong. In a world, we need to be with men and we need to learn from them so that we could work along with them. And in future, hopefully, we will be leading the world. I hope that. So, after hearing all of the amazing speakers before, I would like to end the session by just recalling a few things that most of the participants would have learned, that you must believe in yourself, you must remain optimistic, you must remain courageous, speak up, and find your purpose. What I would like to suggest to all of the speakers, especially to the participants, especially those who are young volunteers, is that always go for experiences. Even the last speaker, she also mentioned regarding attending the activities of IEEE, events of IEEE, and I really liked her idea. Why? Because obviously, once you attend any kind of session, for example, if I'm attending this session, I'm learning from the experiences of already amazing women who are doing great in their careers. And who knows that, for example, as we know, COVID is happening, a lot of people are feeling depressed. What happens is this, that we learn from other women. We realize, for example, if I'm breaking down, the fourth speaker, she was saying that you need to be positive all the time, but we all know that we can't be positive all the time, right? There are times when we have mental breakdown, we do get depressed, but what happens is this, through all of these experiences that we have by attending different sessions, different activities, by meeting new people, we recall good things. We realize that yes, that woman, she's so strong because she's been through thick and thin. She's been through really tough road. And when she can be successful, I can be successful as well in future. So yeah, go for experiences, make an impact in the community. Never go for certificates, never go for awards, never go for positions. Always go for making an impact. If you touch just one life, if you make just one person feel better through any activity, any event, you are making an impact. And that's it from my side. I am here if anybody needs any kind of help from my side. And over to you, Shinelo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bisma. Thank you very much. One thing I like about Bisma is that she's very, very humble. She's a humble leader. She's really worthy to be emulated. So we're about coming to the end of this webinar, but we have a question here. Any of the speaker can pick the to answer the question. So the question goes: the issue that prevailed in the past is Nigerians was getting visa to attend conferences overseas. One issue that prevailed in the past is Nigerians getting visa to attend conferences. It's always a challenge. So what's the plan or effort women in leadership is doing to overcome that? So anyone who wants to answer? Going for conferences, anyone who wants to answer, please. Because I remember a lady who does AI training. So she had a conference in Canada. She was automatically denied visa for going for her conference. So I don't know if anybody wants to answer this question, please.
Yeah,
Hello?
my hands are up. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
In the past, I remember the person that asked that question is Principe.
Yes, Principe.
He used to be in Nigeria. He used to be the co-chair. I remember in 2012, we're together in Spain, and before that meeting in Spain, we made an arrangement to visit the ambassador here in Nigeria. And after the meeting, all of us got visa. And recently, with the new leadership of IEEE, I know I've been discussing with Engineer Funsho, that's the chair, which I know is in the pipeline. We have a strategy of working out all these issues with the different embassies, so that during the time of visas, it's easier for our members to attend. It's laid down that most times when we have people to go for this and they'll be rejected. When this is done appropriately and on time, I know we will not be denied. Most of the people that have been rejected, maybe they did it on their own, and they don't. If we work together as a team and get the appropriate quarters to refer us, and the leadership move up to have meetings with the embassies, put down the names of the people involved, I know in that issue, that regard, they will give them professional treatment and they will get visa. We have tried it in the past and it has worked for us. So let any of us that want to, is interested in any of the events, do the right thing, show your interest through the leadership, so that they can help you in pursuing visa. I know it's workable. It's something that we can do. We have done it in the past. It has worked, and I know it will still work.
Okay, thank you, Ma. We are really grateful for this. We are really running out of time. It should be really a wonderful section. It's so much knowledge packed. We really appreciate the speaker. The speaker has been great. We've learned a lot in this webinar, and we'll like to share our social media links to you. Please, you can join us on our LinkedIn platform. We have our LinkedIn platform. I've already sent it on the chat for everybody to see. If you want to join us on our LinkedIn, Facebook, WhatsApp, is there. Please, we are open for you to join. And we also have coming up mentorship program. So please join us and you will know about this mentorship program. The IEEE social media platform, the link has been shared. And if you have any other question, I'll be posting an email so that if you give me the questions, I can be able to put it through to the speaker here. So it's been a wonderful time here. And finally, before we have the vote of thanks, we have engineer Aliu, who wants to say one or two things to us. And then we'll have the vote of thanks, and that will be it, because we are really on a good time of closing. So, Engineer Aliu.
Thank you very much, Chilano. Good evening, everyone on the call. Wonderful job, great job to the ambassadors and the organizers of this webinar. It's been a very lengthy session full of knowledge and things to motivate the younger generation. I would like to start off by recognizing the chair of Nigerian section, my boss, and also the PES chair, my mentors, the past chairs, even Prince Ibe on the call. He was once a gold chair in Nigeria, and also the executive and the participant. The speakers did very well. Dr. Nkiru, Engineer Patient, Chidima, Dr. Felicia Mistura, you all spoke very, very well on what the younger lads supposed to know about STEMs and some of the things that they need to do. Just things to remind us all. Let's know that in IEEE is a fair ground for everyone, both male and female, to be a leader. If you look at the MGA, you notice that the past chair before the GM was also a lady. That's Karen Betleson. We also have Tim Jeffrey and we have Tisho. Then our president-elect that is going to take over the office next year, it's also a lady. That's Susan Catalan. And also, if you look at the region, you also notice that we have, in the past 3 years and also the year to come, we have Costas, Margarita, we have Magdalena, and also we have Antonio coming. So it's a fair ground for ladies to be leader. So one thing I will take away from this call today is just that ladies should seek out for mentors, and you should always be yourself, and you should also display confidence, and you should be ready to lead. I think with that, you don't have any problem. And I would like to align with Dr. Felicia that did mention that in STEM, there's nothing like recognition for ladies because they're never given a chance to show that they are ladies. Everything they do is tailored to both being for both genders. Thank you very much, and well done to the organizers and the ambassadors once again. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Engineer Liu. That was a nice one. We're about to round up this section. I really had a lot of things I learned, and I know a lot of us must have taken down a lot of jots from what have come up from this meeting. It was a great webinar. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, the participants are able to come. And for the vote of thanks will be taken by our IEEE PES Women in Power Lead Region 8, who is by name Mercy K. Chelangat. Mercy K. Chelangat, over to you.
Hello, thank you for the introduction. So my name is Mercy from the IEEE Kenya section. I work with IEEE Smart Village, where we empower disadvantaged communities with energy, education, and entrepreneurship. So on behalf of the PES community, we are very honored to be in the presence of exceptional women and men in the technology space right here. So on behalf of the PES Day 2020 and the Women in Power, we thank you for sparing your time to share your thoughts and insights. I believe everyone has learned and felt inspired as I have. So thank you for your commitment to continue mentoring the girls and ladies in STEM. I am very enlightened and encouraged by all your strong and positive sentiments about the women in STEM. So to round this up, I would like us to keep celebrating more women in power as we have done. This is just but one indication. There are many women out there who are excelling, and we need to celebrate them. So we shall keep celebrating the women in power. And should you need anything from the PES Region 8, feel free to reach out to me. So in finality, I would like to congratulate the ambassadors who are really putting this webinar together. It's been an inspiring one. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mercy. We really appreciate everyone that is able to make it to this webinar. We really appreciate in a special way our speakers are able to bring out their valuable time to come and talk to us. We appreciate all our executives and everyone that are able to make it to this webinar. We say thank you, everyone. And to this, the webinar is to a close. Thank you.